So there's like two different things where you have somebody like Ryan Garcia who can really fight, and he's using social media to help promote that. And then there's like the flip side of that where you have the Paul brothers
Yeah,
who don't know really anything about boxing.
yeah.
But in a weird way, there's almost a place for that. So like what is your position on that? Do you think it's good for boxing? Do you think it's good for boxing that guys like that are able to put on a show and kind of bring in a new audience, or is it, as somebody who kind of took the real route to do it, is it like, come on man, like we work our ass off for this?
I mean, what is your definition of a real route?
I mean, but while you had an amateur career, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying, you had to fight real guys, you had to fight tough guys, you didn't have to fight Nate Robinson, you know what
right.
I'm saying, like, you get what I'm saying? I mean, it's
Yeah,
not,
no,
they're still
I
taking that
understand what you're
risk. I'm
saying.
not saying they're not taking that
Yeah,
risk either, because they are,
yeah,
but it's a different
absolutely.
risk.
Yeah. It like I said, the times are changing, but this is really nothing new under the sun, man. There's been exhibitions like this going on around when you go back and you see Muhammad Ali had an exhibition with the Japanese
Right,
wrestler.
right.
He almost lost a leg because of the fight. You had Butterbean, king of the four rounders.
Yeah.
This is nothing new, man. It may be new to the younger audience and maybe the younger boxing fans. But boxing, man, boxing is a hustler sport, man, and
Right.
everybody's trying to make a dollar. And this in this situation is no different. You got Triller entering the boxing game. They just won that huge bid for Tiafimo,
Yeah.
and this is a social media platform. So, again, it's changing. I think the Paul brothers. I don't think they're bad for the sport. I think it's they're bringing audiences, a new audience to the game. And I always look at it like, look at the other fighters that get the opportunity, right? So even if you have a Floyd Mayweather and a Logan Paul headlining a huge boxing card, think about the guys that are going to get that opportunity to fight on the undercard.
Yeah.
So I look at the good in every situation, in a situation like that. So I think it's good for boxing, man. Let's bring it on. Let's get more people involved in it. And again, it goes back to fighters should be doing the same thing. Fighters, the Paul brothers got into the game because of their social media platform, right? 20
Right.
million subscribers on YouTube, or I think something along those lines. Think about the benefit that it would help a fighter with the background, with the experience. Think about what it can do for them. So I try to look at the good in every situation.
And I thought the Mike and Roy fight was a cool example of that, where those early fights were great. And I had never heard of a lot of those guys. And
Absolutely,
I feel like because I tuned in for that night, I got exposed to these fighters that,
absolutely,
I wouldn't
yeah,
have been able to watch had I not tuned
absolutely,
in.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you don't like something, just don't watch it.
Right.
That easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. It's true. And I think it absolutely has its place. And I think it just shows like boxing's in a good place where people want to
yeah.
be a part of it, and they want to, even if they're coming to it from a different place, it's like that's not a bad thing. It's dangerous enough. Like, let's get as many eyes as possible.
Yeah, you have to, in order for anything, a business, an organization, to survive, you have to adapt, right? So, you saw early in the day, or back when I was fighting, it was HBO and Showtime. Those guys aren't as relevant as they were before. Showtime Sports is still in the game, but not, it was every Saturday you were seeing a Showbox or an HBO After Dark.
Right.
Now you have the Zone, you have ESPN, you have the apps, you have Triller. The game is changing,
Yep.
and boxing is, in order for it to survive like it has for hundreds of years, it's just evolving. So again, this stuff is nothing new. I think it's staying relevant, and that's what's, I think, important for the survival of the sport, and for fighters to continue to get an opportunity.
And boxing's always had that versatility. I feel like it's the most versatile, resilient sport there is, because it
Yeah,
can be whatever it wants to be. It's not the
yeah,
NFL. It's not the
yeah.
NBA. It can be
That's
it
it,
can
man.
be whatever it wants to be.
Boxing and prostitution is one of the oldest forms of occupations.
I've never heard it put like that before. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's been around a long, long time, man.